Welcome to TV Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: Meg Ryan is back with her first romantic comedy in over a decade. We look back at her impact on the genre. Nikki Haley jokes about fellow presidential candidate Ron DeSantis's boots. Movies and TV shows affected by Hollywood actors and screenwriters strikes. The president's man with $1.2 trillion and an infrastructure plan to sell. Ex-Lionsgate UK boss to channel $150 million into British film and TV. Meg Ryan is back with her first romantic comedy in over a decade. We look back at her impact on the genre. ABC. Meg Ryan is set to make her return to the rom-com genre with her new film What Happens Later, which she stars in, directs and co-writes. Ryan is often associated with romantic comedies, despite having appeared in other genres, and her collaboration with writer and filmmaker Nora Ephron cemented her as a rom-com movie star. Ephron and Ryan's film When Harry Met Sally, 1989, was a turning point for the genre, as it showed both sides of the relationship and aimed to understand the male and female characters. The film was followed by Sleepless in Seattle, 1993, and You've Got Mail, 1998, both of which were commercial successes. However, the golden era of rom-coms is thought to have passed, with the genre now being made cheaper than ever, thanks to the rise of streaming services. Ryan's return to the genre may bring back some of the magic, but only time will tell if audiences are receptive to it. Nikki Haley jokes about fellow presidential candidate Ron DeSantis's boots. Washington Post. Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley has poked fun at fellow Republican presidential candidate Ron DeSantis over allegations that he wears boots with added insoles to make him appear taller. "Are you wearing higher heels than Ron DeSantis next week at the debate, so you can look taller than him, on the stage?" a guest host of Comedy Central's The Daily Show asked Haley. "I don't know. We'll have to figure that out," said Haley. The campaign of former President Donald Trump has also made boot jokes about DeSantis for months. Movies and TV shows affected by Hollywood actors and screenwriters strikes. Associated Press. Talks between the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, SAG-AFTRA, and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers are progressing slowly, but there is cautious optimism that a deal may be reached. The two sides are currently discussing the use of artificial intelligence in production, which has been a major sticking point in reaching a 3-year contract agreement. The strikes have caused significant delays and disruptions in the industry, with many movies and TV shows being pushed back on the calendar. The president's man with $1.2 trillion and an infrastructure plan to sell. Bloomberg. Only 38% of swing state voters trust President Joe Biden to handle infrastructure, according to a Bloomberg/Morning Consult poll. In contrast, 42% of voters trust former President Donald Trump, who had promised a major infrastructure program while in office but never delivered. Mitch Landrieu, the White House infrastructure coordinator, is responsible for coordinating the implementation of the $1.2 trillion infrastructure package. While there are currently 38,000 projects in the pipeline, critics argue that $1.2 trillion is not enough, especially if Republicans manage to cut the budgets of infrastructure agencies. Ex-Lionsgate UK boss to channel $150 million into British film and TV. Financial Times. True Brit Entertainment, a new film and TV production company, plans to co-finance over $150 million of UK independent British productions over the next 3 years. The company will invest in and release 4 to 8 British films annually, aiming to tap into a resurgence in the independent British film industry, which has seen a resurgence in cinemas following a period dominated by superhero sequels. Funding for the venture was led by LA-based talent management and entertainment company 360, and UK producer and director Matthew Vaughn is a small shareholder in the company. Paul Mescal and Andrew Scott were really into each other, director. The Independent. Director Andrew Hay has spoken about the chemistry between actors Paul Mescal and Andrew Scott in the upcoming film All of Us Strangers. Hay revealed that the two actors hit it off immediately, spending time together outside of filming and forming a strong friendship. He praised their professionalism and said that their desire to work together helped to create the chemistry between their characters. All of Us Strangers is set to be released in cinemas in December 2023. HBO boss admits attacking critics with fake accounts. BBC. The CEO and chairman of HBO, Casey Bloys, has admitted to tasking staff with creating a fake Twitter account to attack TV critics. Bloys apologized to the critics at a press event, stating that the incident occurred during a period of frustration when he was scrolling through Twitter. Text exchanges between Bloys and HBO's senior vice president of drama programming, Kathleen McCaffrey, were reviewed by Rolling Stone. Blois reportedly drafted a tweet for an employee to send in response to a critic's comment about the HBO period drama Perry Mason. The tweet was not sent, but other messages were reportedly sent from fake accounts. Blois admitted that 6 tweets were sent over an 18-month period and apologized to those targeted. Blois now sends direct messages to journalists to express his feedback. The text message exchanges are reportedly part of a lawsuit filed by a former employee against HBO, Blois, and McCaffrey, who claims to have had his job wrongfully terminated and to have been asked to create fake online accounts to respond to HBO show critics. Nationals to promote Eddie Longosh to oversee player development. Washington Post. The Washington Nationals are expected to promote Eddie Longosh to lead the team's player development department, according to multiple people with knowledge of the situation. Longosh has been with the Nationals since 2010 and has served as the director of scouting operations since 2016. Longosh's formal title is not yet determined and the move is not yet official, but he will effectively replace DeJohn Watson, who was the Nationals' director of player development the past 2 seasons. Quiz Lady, the romping new sister comedy starring Sandra Oh, Awkwafina and Will Ferrell. ABC. Quiz Lady, which premiered at the Toronto Film Festival in September, will be the newest addition to the genre of Asian American film. The film follows 2 sisters who take part in a television game show to pay off their mother's gambling debts and save a pet pug. Sandra Oh and Awkwafina play the sisters in the film, which is helmed by Chinese-American director Jessica Yu. Yu said that the cast drew her to the project, while also noting that Hollywood has reached a tipping point for Asian casts. Author accused of faking own death pleads guilty. BBC. Canadian author Dawn Walker has pleaded guilty to charges of parental abduction, possession of a forged document, and forging a passport. Walker, an Indigenous woman from Saskatchewan, disappeared with her son in 2022, sparking a high-profile search. She was found safe in Oregon 2 weeks later. Walker has said that she fled domestic violence. Her lawyers and prosecutors have requested a 12-month conditional sentence followed by 18 months of probation. The final sentence will be decided by Judge Brad Mitchell. Walker is a celebrated author and Indigenous advocate in Canada. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Six, your favorite observer from the 6 Degrees world. Today, we have quite a collection of news stories to discuss, ranging from the return of Meg Ryan to the rom-com genre, to Nikki Haley's jokes about fellow presidential candidate Ron DeSantis's boots, to the impact of Hollywood strikes on movies and TV shows, and much more. So, let's dive right in. First up, we have the exciting news of Meg Ryan's return to the romantic comedy genre with her new film What Happens Later. Meg Ryan is often associated with rom-coms, thanks to her collaborations with writer and filmmaker Nora Ephron. Their film When Harry Met Sally was a turning point for the genre, and Ryan went on to star in other successful romantic comedies like Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail. While the golden era of rom-coms might have passed, Ryan's return might bring back some of the magic. But will audiences be receptive? Well, only time will tell. Moving on to politics, we have former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley poking fun at fellow presidential candidate Ron DeSantis over allegations of him wearing boots with added insoles to appear taller. It seems like the campaign of former President Donald Trump has also been making boot jokes about DeSantis for months. Politics, always full of surprises and witty banter. Now, let's talk about the Hollywood strikes and their impact on movies and TV shows. The talks between the Screen Actors Guild and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers are progressing slowly, with a major sticking point being the use of artificial intelligence in production. These strikes have caused significant delays and disruptions in the industry, with many projects being pushed back on the calendar. So, dear viewers, buckle up for some potential changes in your favorite shows and movies. Next, we have a poll that reveals only 38% of swing state voters trust President Joe Biden to handle infrastructure, while 42% trust former President Donald Trump. Mitch Landrieu, the White House infrastructure coordinator, is responsible for implementing the $1.2 trillion infrastructure package. However, critics argue that $1.2 trillion might not be enough, especially if Republicans manage to cut the budgets of infrastructure agencies. Infrastructure can be a tricky business, indeed. In the world of entertainment, we have the exciting news of a new film and TV production company called TrueBrit Entertainment, which plans to co-finance over $150 million of UK independent British productions over the next 3 years. This is a great opportunity to tap into the resurgence of the independent British film industry, which has seen a comeback in cinemas. Superheroes, step aside, it's time for some authentic British storytelling. Now, let's talk about the upcoming film All of Us Strangers and the chemistry between actors Paul Mescal and Andrew Scott. Director Andrew Hay revealed that the two actors hit it off immediately and formed a strong friendship. Their desire to work together helped create the chemistry between their characters, leading to an exciting on-screen dynamic. It's always a delight to see actors who genuinely enjoy working together. In a rather intriguing turn of events, HBO's CEO and chairman, Casey Bloys, has admitted to tasking staff with creating a fake Twitter account to attack TV critics. Oops! Bloys has apologized for the incident, which occurred during a period of frustration. Now, he sends direct messages to journalists to express his feedback. Lesson learned: let's keep it classy on social media, folks. In sports news, the Washington Nationals are expected to promote Eddie Longosh to lead the team's player development department. Longosh has been with the Nationals since 2010 and has served as the director of scouting operations. It's always exciting to see talented individuals move up the ranks and take on new challenges. Last but not least, we have the premiere of Quiz Lady, the newest addition to the genre of Asian American film. The film follows two sisters who participate in a game show to pay off their mother's gambling debts and save a pet pug. With Sandra Oh and Awkwafina leading the cast, this film is helmed by Chinese-American director Jessica Yu. It's fantastic to see more diverse stories being told in Hollywood. And finally, we have the case of Canadian author Dawn Walker, who pleaded guilty to charges of parental abduction, possession of a forged document, and forging a passport. Walker, a celebrated author and Indigenous advocate, disappeared with her son in 2022, sparking a high-profile search. She has stated that she fled domestic violence. The final sentence will soon be decided. Let's hope for a fair and just outcome for everyone involved. Well, that wraps up our news for today, my dear viewers. I hope you enjoyed this whirlwind of stories. Now it's your turn to join the discussion. What are your thoughts on Meg Ryan's return to rom-coms? Are you excited about the upcoming movies and TV shows affected by the Hollywood strikes? And what about Nikki Haley's jokes and the CEO of HBO's Twitter mishap? Let me know your thoughts, questions, and anything else you'd like to discuss. Until next time, stay curious and keep those questions coming. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.